Hey guys, welcome back to Power Ideas. In this series, I take your ideas and my ideas and turn them into full-fledged power sets that I would like to see in future Infamous games. Today's episode is going to be a follow-up of the last episode where I revealed my music power. I'm going to talk about some new abilities I've come up with, and hopefully you'll enjoy what I have to share. So these ideas I didn't come up with entirely on my own. I talked to Alex and Erica, and they helped me come up with these. So what you're going to hear in this video is a combination of some ideas that we had together and just kind of mix-mashed into the powers that I'm going to talk about. So first off, the bolt. I think the bolt should be a fully automatic stream, just like Cole's bolt stream or Fetch's fully automatic neon bolts from First Light. Each individual bolt would look like an elongated shape, almost like Cole's artillery bolt from Infamous 2, and as it flies through the air, it would sputter out little rings so it looks like music is propelling the bolt through the air. Now when the bolt hits the enemy, I think a really cool visual effect would be where the bolt disperses and turns into a bunch of musical waves or ripples that go over the enemy's body. Next up is the rocket. Now I couldn't think of an actual rocket that would look like music, so instead I did something pretty cool. I think our character, who is still a girl, you know, from the last video, it's still the same character. I think she should create a music record out of her powers and throw the record at very fast speeds. The record would leave a trail of colors behind it as it ricocheted off of enemies and walls. So it would basically look something like the disc gun from Black Ops 3. The next ability was one that inspired me and Alex from a comment on my previous video. I'll put the commenter's name and comment right here on screen so you can see. I want to thank you right now for inspiring us to make this ability. This ability is called Bounce or Bounce Pad, whichever one you think sounds cooler. The basic idea is that you can bounce off of the ground by double tapping X. It would look something kind of like Cole's ice jump, except without the big pillar of ice. What it would look like is when you go to do the jump, the character would crouch down and a bunch of rings would start to flow out of the character's feet, creating a music pad underneath the character. The pad would then propel the character upwards, bouncing them into the air. If you're close to a building or a wall, you can tap X again to bounce or jump up the wall. And you can only use the bounce 3 times in a row before having to touch the ground, so keep that in mind. If you're in mid-air and not close to any buildings, then you can simply use the thrusters by holding X. This one I'm really excited to talk about. This is the melee. I came up with this with the help of Erica. She helped me settle on an idea, and I'm very proud of this one. Since our character is a rave girl and she likes to go to parties, I thought we should do something with glow sticks, but I wasn't initially sure what you could do with them. They're kind of short and they're not really, you know, a good weapon. You can't beat somebody with a glow stick. But then I thought, what if she wears 2 glow sticks on each side of her belt, and when she does melee, she pulls the glow sticks off, channels her music powers through the glow sticks so it extends the length. Like the actual glow stick doesn't get bigger, but the music power goes through the glow sticks, and it creates these really long glow stick musical whips. And she can do really fast melee with them, and she can do acrobatic stuff, and she can do flips and just fling them around and twirl them, and it just looks so freaking awesome in my head. I wish I could animate this so you guys could see exactly what is going on in my imagination, but I think that sounds really cool. As she whips them across the screen, you know, they would leave a trail of light, or even Alex had the idea, when she whips them, it could leave a trail that looks like written music. Just so many cool ideas to do with this thing. Tell me what you guys think of that in the comments, because I love that idea. Next, I'm going to talk about the Subdue, Heal, and Execution abilities. These are the minor ones, but they're still very important to Karma and whatnot. So the Subdue ability would have enemies lying on the ground, and if an enemy was standing up and surrendering, you could just push them onto the ground. And it would look like a few inches above the enemy, little rings would generate and fall down towards the enemy to keep them on the ground. The rings are small at the top, but they get bigger as they fall. For the heal ability, our character would put her hands next to the civilians' ears, play soothing music, and revive them. Now this isn't really scientifically correct, but in one of my last videos I mentioned how neuroelectricity is actually what heals the people, at least that's my theory, not the actual power itself. So that gives us some leverage to use some pretty cool visual effects. And the execution. If an enemy is laying down, you kick the enemy into the air, a little wub of music spurts out of the enemy, or civilian if you're evil, and they disintegrate into musical cubes, these little 3D translucent musical colored cubes just kind of fall to the ground, and there's a lot of them. If the enemy is standing up and surrendering, you grab the enemy's head, blast really loud music into their ears, and this causes them to, again, fall apart into a bunch of little musical colored 3D cubes. Now, a really cool visual effect I had for the execution of a standing enemy would be that their whole body doesn't turn into cubes at once. It starts at the top of their head, and as the cubes fall down their body, more of their body turns into cubes, kind of like a domino effect, almost like rain trickling down inside of a building, if that makes any sense. And finally, the Karma Bomb. Now, the Karma Bomb is up for discussion, so you can go ahead and leave me suggestions, but I'm going to describe our idea for the Karma Bomb, me and Alex's. I thought it would be cool if our character had a pair of headphones that she wore around her neck at all times, or at least a majority of the time. And when she does the Karma Bomb, she pulls out the headphones, puts them on her ears, and then a bunch of colored rings start at her hips and shoot down her legs really fast and propel her into the air so she can float. As she's floating, a bunch of musical bubbles would form around the enemies. Inside the bubble, it would look like a vortex of energy being pulled towards the enemy. You could see the enemies covering their ears and kind of shaking around and writhing in pain. From outside the bubble, it sounds like muffled noise, but inside the bubble, there is very loud, ear-piercing music being played to the enemies, and that's why they're covering their ears. Once the animation is complete, all enemies are either turned into little musical cubes and disintegrated, that's evil karma, or subdued as good karma. Now you could argue that this isn't epic enough, and you could even say that the bubbles remind you too much of the neon karma bomb, so like I said, it's up for discussion. I'm also not sure what this karma bomb would sound like. Would you be able to hear the muffled noises because you're outside of the bubbles? Or would you hear the music being played through the headphones since our character has the headphones on? I'm not really sure, but go ahead and give me your thoughts on that. I think it sounds pretty cool, but I'm open for suggestions. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. And before I end this, I just wanted to say thank you to all of the people over on Twitter who have been inspired by my last video and drew their own concept art. I've seen some really nice drawings of the music power and the music conduit, and it makes me feel really good that people are taking my videos and doing stuff outside of my channel with that and just making their own art and talking about things. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. So thank you so much. Keep up the good work. I love seeing the art. Maybe I'll even use it in some of my videos if you guys would like that. Once again, thank you all so much. I'll catch you later.